Hello, everybody, and welcome into the final episode of Bloody Good Horror in 2025. That's right, we carry on the tradition tonight of the John Schnars hosted Bloody Good Horror Year-Ender. This is the part where I get to talk. I'm Eric. First up tonight, joining us from Oakland, California. Please welcome Rachel to the show.
Woohoo, we made it, y'all. We did it. We made it.
Crawling across the finish line. That's how I feel right now.
And the nuke goes off.
My kids have been home on break. I'm about 4 seconds away from becoming Jack Nicholson in The Shining is where I'm at tonight. Next up from Indiana, please welcome Casey to the show.
Hello.
And last up tonight from Manhattan, New York City, the man of the evening himself. He hosts the show. Wouldn't even bring his mic with him to the Swiss Chalet, but here we are. Please welcome John Schnars to the show.
Eric, as I think this is the third year, I'm deep in the Hudson Valley, the lower Hudson Valley, let's call it. I don't want to upset those of you in the capital region. Excited to be here.
Love it. Take it away, John. Are we doing a word? We don't do a word on these, right?
Word, come on. I didn't have time to prepare a word. I had so many other things I was doing, spreadsheets and so forth. Eric, it's, do you know how many years we've been doing this?
Mm-mm.
I have it as the 13th year. As the
13 years.
Official year-ender episode where I have all the sheets, I got the spreadsheets, I got the data, where there was voting involved. I'm not even going to go over the rules because we've been doing this so long. We're going to get right into it. We had 8 voters this year in our 13th year. So those are the official BGH voters. 29 films received a vote. So it's actually pretty comparable to what we did last year when we had 9 voters last year. And the thing that I think was sort of most different, we had 6 different number ones for eight voters. We're going to get into it as we go, but it was a diversified year. At the same time, though, 9 movies were on at least half of the lists. So there was some consensus around that sort of top 10 that we ended up with. But there was a lot of variety within that top 10. And I think it turned out pretty interesting. The last time we had this many movies that had at least half of the lists voting for them was 2020. So it's been a minute.
What else happened in 2020 that happened in 2025?
Don't, Rachel.
Wish I could remember. So the one rule I will say, because I feel like we get questions about it every year, the movie had to be broadly available in the United States of America, this year USA, in 2025. Some of these movies were probably produced earlier than that. In fact, I know some of them were. It's really about when they were commercially available, let's say.
Literally we do this because I get really annoyed when like 10 people see a movie at a festival and they're like, it's my top 10 of the year. And you're like, I don't fucking care because I can't see it.
Exactly.
So this is the list for the people, John, not the people who go to festivals.
Exactly. Well, and for, it's funny.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Rachel.
they suck.
Those festival a-holes.
I didn't put any festival picks on here. I know the crowd that I'm working with. Okay. All right. I can code switch.
So, I've been keeping the stats for 13 years. I've compiled a sheet, so I've got a very nice Bloody Good Horror spreadsheet for the last 13 years. The patrons, our dear, dear patrons, we have allowed to vote. We've invited them. We've made them part of the voting process. I don't even know. For the last 5 years, 6 years, I because you know what, I haven't been keeping track. But we've got a great patron vote this year. I'm very excited to get into it. So we're gonna do our list. We're gonna do the patron list, and we'll just have some fun shit at the end. For you all, I think you know, but I'm just gonna remind you. For each movie as we move through the list, I'm gonna give you its place, I'm going to give you a couple of stats about it, and then we're going to have a presenter that I wouldn't say that person is randomly selected. It's usually like if you had this high on your list, if it was like sort of you were the most prominent among the four of us, you're going to get to talk about it. So yeah, let's get into it. Any questions? Any feedback? How are we doing?
I have feedback for you, John, but it's not about this episode.
All right. This is great. You guys have been awesome. We have 2 honorable mentions. It was a bit of a weird situation because, as we'll get into, the list was pretty top-heavy. I mentioned there were 9 films that were on at least half of the list. We had a very top-heavy list. So when you get to the honorable mentions, we're talking about a long tail here. There's a lot of stuff, but I had to draw the line somewhere. And I drew the line at number 12. This is our 12th film. There's an 11 and a 12 before we get to the top 10. Number 12 is Dangerous Animals. This movie was on 3 of the 8 lists. Ariel had it highest. It was her number 6 film of the year.
Oh, she's always throwing curveballs. I like that about Ariel.
You know,
I had it on my list for most of the year.
Well, so it ended up at my number 8, and I am the presenter for Dangerous Animals. And here's what I'll say. It was a lot of fun. You got sharks. You got a serial killer. The serial killer's feeding people to the sharks. Like, what else do you need to know about this movie? I thought it was well put together. And
ready, John? Ready? I don't know how this is going to look, but ready?
Oh, let's do it. What do we got? Oh, whoa. Look at this.
Yay.
Visual graphic.
I know stuff.
It's for the YouTube community.
Did you also make that an AI?
No, that was not AI.
For me, a lot of the list, like as I was making the list, and we can talk, I mean, we'll get into it. I make my list at the very end of the year. I do not, like, as Eric notably makes his list as we move through the year, I sit down at the end of the year, and a lot of it comes down to, like, what did I remember? What am I going to sort of, like, carry forward? It's a shark movie. It's a serial killer thing. I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy who plays the serial killer with the big beard, he was incredible.
It's deceptive. Jai Courtney?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we all came out of that one feeling like that was more than I expected. That was more stuff happening, more interesting than we expected, for sure.
Yeah. Sean Byrne.
Well, I remember coming out of it. I came out of it for sure thinking, whoa, I like Jai Courtney.
Well, it is funny, too, to see him because, like, at some point after I saw that this year, I caught some of that Terminator movie that he was in on TV. Oof. And they're trying to make him in that movie.
Which one was it?
Wasn't it Genesis?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
it
so.
was.
I think
but in that movie, he's kind of clean cut. They're trying to make him like a sort of handsome leading man. And so it's funny to see him in Dangerous Animals. And they're like, nah, this is just a weird, crazy guy. This is a weird, crazy guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah.
And he nailed it.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers to him. Congrats, Jai. You figured it out for 2025. Yeah. Let's move to number 11. This one is the honorary Zombie Girls selection. The film is The Surrender.
Oh, okay.
It's a film I was not 100% aware of until I started putting the list together. It was only on 2 ballots, but it was pretty high. Ariel had it as her number 3, and Rachel had it as her number 4.
Educate us, Rachel.
Yeah, please tell us about The Surrender.
Well, I figured it was fairly safe to assume that I was the only one on the show that saw this year. Yes? Okay. All right, great. Well, it's kind of sad. This was like, I had 2 dark horses this year, and this was one of them for me. And I was hoping that this would catch on, but I guess it didn't. It is, to me, one of, if not the feel-bad movie of the year, which I mean as a compliment. It is about this woman and her mother who basically engage in this ritual to bring her father back after he dies after a prolonged sort of illness. It's very dark. The setup is very dark, and I assure you it only gets darker and more upsetting from there.
Sounds like that Angel movie we saw years ago. What was that movie called?
It is.
I can never remember the title of.
A dark song, and it is absolutely in the same lane as a dark song.
That was your number 1, like whatever year.
I love that movie. Yeah.
You're kind of, I'm like, because you love Dark Song so much, I was a little nervous to suggest this to you, but I also really wanted to because you and I share a love for that movie. It has the same sort of like arcane rights, but there's also a lot of this like mother-daughter angst that is central to the film. And there's really incredible creature design that was inspired directly from the work of like Bosch and De Goya. And it just, it shows how effective those designs are even to this very day. It's very cool. It's crushing. It's creepy. I cannot recommend it enough.
Where can
I
we
will
watch this
say
movie?
it
Is
it did not make Matilda's list because it was too effective. We're like living in a certain age where like our parents are getting older and aging and getting unhealthy. And so this movie can hit you
A
hard.
little
So,
uncomfortable for the sandwich generation.
yeah. So, go into it with that expectation. But Julia Max wrote and directed this, inspired by some like things that actually happened in her real life with a death doula, and it is fantastic.
Where's
John's
it?
my death doula.
Shudder.
Oh, it's a Shudder. Oh,
I haven't told him yet.
yeah. I'll
Actually,
write
John
on
would be
there.
the worst,
No problem.
the worst death doula.
Whoa.
See, I kind
on,
of want
bro.
somebody that's going to be unflinching about pulling the plug because I'm like, when in doubt,
Oh,
pull
he'd be
it
great
out.
at
So I
that.
would be like, John, have at
He'd
it.
yank that shit right out.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for in a
I've made a cost benefit analysis.
cord guardian.
right. He asked, what is the profit margin on this life staying alive? And he was like,
Yoink.
guys, the numbers don't make sense.
There you go. Okay, The Surrender. There's one for the rest of us to check out. Honorable mention, number 11. We're moving into the top 10 now. The official top 10. Here it is. Number 10. The film is 28 years later.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, honestly, how low this came in on the old top 10. It only made 3 lists. So that it was in itself surprising. Here's the thing, though. Number 1 for John Shelton. Number 1.
Really?
28 years later. I'm going to be the presenter here. I had this at my number 7. It was a fun movie. I don't know.
Thanks for the insight, John.
Everybody is running to rent that now.
Bridge. There was rules about when you could go in and out of the town. There was the guy with the huge dong. This is lots of good stuff happening in this movie.
John, I don't want, you're nailing this, just so you know.
Well, here's the thing. I actually would have said this might have come in higher on my list. It ends in such a goofy way to set up the next film, which is coming soon. Maybe that movie works, but it almost like hurts this movie to have it end the way that it ends. I think a lot of the things that are happening in this movie are great and very much we're like sort of playing the hits from the first 2 films, or at least he did both of them, right? I'm like confused. Okay.
Oh, no, he did the first one. He did not
Yeah.
do the second one.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, he
but
didn't do the second one.
Yeah, he
I
produced
just
them,
think-
didn't he?
It
Probably.
yeah, no, he was definitely involved. I don't know. I get back to my test. I remember like how I felt while I was watching it, and that's more than I can say about a lot of movies that I saw. So so did anybody else? I'm trying to think. Did anyone else have it?
I am excited for the next one though, because I actually do like how absolutely batshit crazy the end is, and I'm ready to see what Nia DaCosta does with it with the next one. I'm all
Yeah.
in. I'm
It's
all in.
Christmas,
Show
so I'm
me-
going to be nice to 28.
I was just kind of like meh overall on 28 years later until we got to the end with that goofy end. It's like, Rachel, I'm ready for something like crazy apocalyptic stuff, just like some banana shit in that. And I'm hoping from what we saw at the end and what we've seen in the trailers now that's what we're getting. So I'm actually looking forward to go rewatch.
Okay, take back what I said. I've already been pissed off by the marketing for the next one because I keep getting this Instagram ad that's like, I think it's Danny Boyle or it's Ray Fiennes, it's one of them, and they're just like, oh, well, when you're going to follow up a movie like 28 years later, like you really got to bring it. I'm just like, brother, you don't got to do anything to be better. Let's all
I'm
relax.
excited for the Jimmy Savile cult. I just keep seeing pictures of him like standing doing like the Baphomet pose, and I'm like, I can't wait. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's see the absolute dregs of humanity dressed in jumpsuits.
Okay.
John, the chat has taken this death doula suggestion and really ran with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Samantha Christ, the horror section pivots to the euthanasia section due to current market trends. Rachel Ray, if John's face is the last I see, I'll not be mad.
Hey.
Hey.
Real Blob Nelson, current POV, John standing over your last breath.
Side hustle, John?
He also says John will do a cost benefit analysis of your life. I don't think mine's going to hold up, but
Yeah.
under scrutiny.
Yeah, mine either. I'm
Yeah.
terrified to see that PowerPoint.
I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go now.
We're gonna move on to number 9. And number 9. As much as it's fun to think about me, murdering people. The film, the movie's Companion, is on 5 lists. So I think everything going forward was on at least half the list. Companion, 5 lists. Highest position, Eric and myself. We both had it at number 6. Companion was on a lot of lists. It did pretty well with the patrons. It didn't like crack into that top 4 or 5 range.
I think
Eric, you go ahead. Tell us.
Companion is a fantastic film. It was near the top of my list for most of the year and just got a little more competition towards the end.
Yeah.
I think it is one of the best films this year at successfully blending horror and comedy. It is both a tense film that is also very funny, and I think that's extremely challenging to do. I also think of everything I saw this year, it probably does the best job of blending very interesting, timely themes, both in the gender sense, but also ponder in a very Black Mirror way, pondering kind of the nightmare near future technology. But it does all that while also just being entertaining as hell. Like that to me is what I'm looking for. I kind of want a movie where you could choose not to engage with that stuff and it's still great. And I think that's why Companion was kind of special for me this year. And also like a rarity that it was kind of right out of the gate. It was like the first or second thing we saw.
Yeah, it might have been. It was like late Jan or Feb, something like that.
It's like the first thing I saw this year, and
it's just great. Fantastic cast, just great all around.
Yeah, I mean, remember this is also the same year that the new Megan film came out, so I think this is definitely the superior film that tackles AI.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I think notable too, if we remember, like people were annoyed that the marketing, people felt it sort of quote unquote like gave something away about it. But then we all saw it, and it's like the marketing didn't discuss anything that wasn't 20 minutes into the movie, really.
Yeah.
Like it goes to so many other places, and I think that was such a testament to the depth of the idea being far beyond just it's a robot. You know what I mean? Like it. So I actually think that marketing made the right choice there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric, I think for me, Eric really nails my feelings on it. For me, it came in at like number 9 on my list, but that was mostly attrition just because it came out so early in the year and other things that came later. I really enjoyed it, but really more than anything, they've got, like Eric said, you get the important messages across that they're going for, and they keep it fun and entertaining all at the same time, and which just makes it an all-around fun flick.
Yeah.
I thought the performances were all great. This is Jack Quaid as just absolute trash.
Yeah.
But also, you're like sort of he's got a charisma to him in like that awkward charisma, but then like goes to dark, gross places. Sophie Thatcher, just all along. I mean, what's his name? Lucas Gage. Yep. Like, I don't know. Very good across the board. Great
Harvey Guillen. Let's just put them all out there. Let's say
yeah.
Like, all the people.
Harvey was freaking great in this movie.
I know. He's such a doll.
Yeah. Delightful. We're going to move to number 8. The film is Frankenstein.
Ah.
You guys heard of it? Are you familiar with Frankenstein? It's a story from the 19th century. No, it was on 4 lists. Casey, it was your number 1 film.
It was.
The floor is yours.
I mean, I told you all it was going to be my number 1.
You did. I think you told.
I think you said that before he saw it.
Yeah. No, this movie, honestly, this movie was my number 1. It's the fanboy dream come true. It was ever since it was announced that Guillermo del Toro was going to be doing a Frankenstein movie. This turned out to be what I had hoped for in my head, and that's the reason for my number 1 vote. But ultimately, too, though, I think it's a gorgeous film with amazing set pieces and a cast that's just fantastic across the board that really elevates this thing to something special. More so to me. I think it's definitely, to me, it's just an elevated horror film that took a classic and brought it to life in a way that I could appreciate, and I think it was lovingly done. And they brought in elements of the original novel, which I think is great because that's not the Frankenstein that is in popular culture nowadays. So I love the fact that we have this huge film to bring the actual historical classic to life despite its changes. So yeah, my favorite film of the year. It was what I was looking forward to and hoping for, and I got what I wanted.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Frankenstein?
I think that Oscar Isaac is a treat on the eyes.
Yeah, he is.
This is the perfect.
Settle down.
He's just the right amount of swarthy for this role, and it's kind of perfect. And actually, Jacob Elordi really kind of wowed me too in this.
Yeah.
I do think, I'll be honest, given who Del Toro is and his the more I ponder Frankenstein, it feels way more CG heavy than I want to see from him. Like, he strikes me as a person who just loves classic filmmaking, and I've seen a little bit of this criticism out there as well. Just I would have loved more practical environments from him. That part of it kind of bummed me out, but it is a pretty movie. But pretty in the way that modern movies are, I guess. And from a Del Toro, I'm looking for something a little more old school.
That's fair. I mean, that's one of its strengths. Like, you watch Crimson Peak, not a great movie, but it doesn't matter because it's so pretty and it's practical largely. So that is kind of a shame. This is his Phantom Menace a little bit.
Yeah.
But
But we discussed at the
can't
time
imagine-
also just from a content perspective, only a kind of auteur level filmmaker could have made Frankenstein this way in 2025. So I definitely can appreciate that about it as well.
Yeah, I mean,
But even from
good
my
on him for-
my fanboy POV, I can't argue your critique on that. You don't like the CGI backgrounds and stuff. I'm just saying they didn't take away from anything for me, but they definitely were overly overused, and I can see where the critiques come from. I think it's a fair.
There's some gorgeous set pieces. The fact that he convinced Netflix to invest in this film at the level that they did is incredible. I mean, and I think it's done pretty well. I think it performed for Netflix. Like, it's going to get some award nominations and so forth. I feel like they are out there hard for Jacob Elordi as like a best supporting actor nominee. So.
Hell yeah.
Everybody's hard for
Good
Jacob
luck.
Elordi, John.
Yeah, I mean, the Oscars are going to be on YouTube pretty soon, so it could be Jacob Elordi's time. I just mean for the young people, Rachel. We got to do stuff for
I just am like, what does that even mean?
the Academy has to do something for the young people to stay interested. We can't.
We're
keep
on
giving
YouTube. What are you trying to say, John?
I got no problem with YouTube. I'm just saying when you're talking about awards and so forth. Number 7. The film is Influencers.
Oh.
It made the list.
It did. It made 4 lists. Highest position, one Joe Ferry. Had it at number 3.
I knew I love Joe
Rachel.
Ferry. He gets
Yeah.
it.
Rachel, you're our presenter. You had it. It was your number 5 film.
Yeah.
Influencers.
Yeah. So this is one that I'm like honestly genuinely surprised it made it on here. I feel like there were two movies that I went like super hard for this year campaigning at the end of the year, and it was Dust Bunny, which nobody saw because it was in the theaters for 3 seconds over the holidays. And
Well, yeah, it came out like the
Influencers.
day before Christmas. I feel like.
I know the timing of that was terrible. And this movie, which was a equally hard sell because it is a sequel that requires the watching of the first film. So I'm so impressed that this made this list.
Guess who can
But-
now speak on that, Rachel?
You, yes, because I did an end run. I went to your partner.
Yeah, you got yeah. You engineered me seeing these, and I've done. It's
I
happened,
sure
so it
did.
worked.
I am nefarious, but when I love a movie, I love a movie. What can I say? But yeah, I am so glad that other people agree because I think this movie is fucking great. Despite having a teeny tiny crew and a very small budget, this movie looks like $1,000,000. It makes the most of its like global settings.
Both of those movies look fantastic in that old school indie filmmaking kind of way that I am talking about.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. I think the other thing is that it introduces one of my all-time now favorite sort of villainess anti-heroines in CW. She's like, you
Do
know,
not spoil the movie. Is this a spoiler? Because I haven't seen it.
No,
so I might
that's
wanna go watch
it's
it. Okay.
it's well established in the first one.
Okay.
okay,
all right,
I'm
all
gonna,
right. Sorry. I
but I'll
apologize.
rein in what I was gonna say.
Apologize.
I will say there are like shades of Tom, what is his name, Tom Ripley or whatever his name
Yeah,
is. But
She's
like,
essentially, John, a young woman who stalks and then murders influencers. That's the setup for the first film. Like she doesn't like influencers.
Sign me up.
So she's
Yeah,
kind of like a dark anti-hero kind of character.
Okay.
yeah, and it's interesting because she gets to be an anti-hero because there's like catharsis in the choices that she makes because she's targeting the influencer class, and I think we all have a little bit of like resentment towards the whole influencer thing. But they also give her this excellent foil in Madison, and their dynamic, their cat and mouse game is really compelling in the first film. And then in the second film, they evolve these characters in really interesting ways. They pull in like critiques around the manosphere, and like there's like a very fun send up of that. And this is the movie that is another simple a favor and the housemaid desperately wanted to be, but was unsuccessful. I
Oh,
love this,
no.
and I need everybody to go watch it because I want it to be successful because I want another one.
Yeah, I think it was really good. And actually, like, the influencers was really sold to me, but I think the first one is just as good, actually. Like, it's a different vibe. The first one is a little more dreamy and kind of slow burn. The second one is faster. There's more happening. It's a little more over the top, but I think they're both really good. Didn't crack. I kind of looked at my top 10. I didn't end up deciding to put it on it, but definitely they're really good hits. Both of them. I think definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. I mean, I think it does a good job of like escalating things.
I'll tell you
that
what the
need to
second
for a
one does
sequel.
that I really appreciated. So there's a manosphere Twitch streamer who's like a main character, and this is my thing. Like, they nail the authenticity of specifically like just the tech of a Twitch stream, but also there's a bunch of scenes where Twitch comments are cycling, and they're really it's funny, like, but it's so darkly, deeply authentic to like internet commenting, and I was like, that's the good stuff right there. Like, when that authenticity comes through in something like that, it's like when somebody recreates news and it's right for me. I'm like, yeah, that's it.
They're both on Shudder. Both of them.
Yeah, they're Shudder originals.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Very
great.
nice.
They're great.
Number 6. The film is The Long Walk.
6.
Yeah. 4 lists. Here it is, Eric. Your number 2 film. You are going to be a presenter. I'll just throw out here a little tidbit. All 3 of Eric, Casey, and I had it in our top 5. Rachel, you did not have it on your list at all.
What one was it? Wait, what are we talking about?
Long
Walk.
Walk.
Did I leave it off my list? That was on accident.
I'm sorry, you were on the episode and I remember
No,
you
that was
really
like
liking it.
100% on accident. I had a fever yesterday. Leave me alone.
I honestly should have texted you and been like, hey, you sure
Yeah,
about this? But
that was an oversight. There's some bullshit on my list that doesn't belong there.
Well, fair enough. That was just clocking some interesting trends, and that's not a real trend. That's a fake trend.
That's a fake
Rachel,
trend.
I
Fake
think.
news.
So.
Fake news.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made that Long Walk is even better at just purely on an objective film scale than my number one. But like number one is such a horror movie that I just like I couldn't make this number one. That said, I've not obviously I've never read the book, John, but
Damn.
they do such an amazing job of taking this really closed setting concept with a very tiny amount of characters and making it so natural feeling and flowing, and in the end so like deeply emotionally charged. And like one thing, and I said this on the show, so one thing they do that's so like perfectly Stephen King, if you think about his big 80s movies, they have put together such a fascinating, well-curated group of young actors in this film. Like sometimes you just look at a group of young actors, or you look at an actor and you're like, when that person finds their stride and starts getting cast in big films, they're going to win an Oscar. I think I said that about the guy who is also in Alien Romulus. But I think there's probably multiple people in this cast that in 10 years like could be in that slot.
That's David Johnson.
Absolutely incredible performances from such a like an eclectic, interesting group of young people. Very emotionally unsettling, and just like riveting from a filmmaking standpoint. When you think about how do they even like accomplish this and shoot this, Mark Hamill, old man, grizzled Mark Hamill as the general, which is fantastic. It's just it's great. And I haven't read the book. And Stephen King stuff is sometimes hit or miss, and so I wasn't really, I don't know how much it was even on my radar, except it did have a really fantastic trailer. I guess I will say that, but it just blew me away. I would say it was the most affected, just generally I was all year walking out of a movie. This was the thing that stuck with me probably the longest after.
Yeah.
This is a movie that like so perfectly met the moment when it came out. It is... when we get into later conversations, like anti-fascist, like media was something that I really connected with this year, and I felt like this did an excellent job of presenting the villainy of that, and right next to like a more vulnerable, honest masculinity, and the combination of and the like division of like this is good and this is evil is such a counter message to everything that we're getting on the internet right now. I found that extremely profound. And then also you touched on Mark Hamill just like eating it up, but I think the casting of the ultimate anti-fascist in that role and playing it so like cartoonishly and buffoonishly like is such a good, it's a hilarious choice, and it is also subtle commentary that I found really
the timing.
I liked it a lot.
The timing of making a film about cartoonishly buffoonish fascism.
Yeah,
you couldn't nail this one more as far as the timing culturally.
Yes, fantastic. I'm so mad at myself that I accidentally left this on my list.
Like cartoonish fascism that's also costing people their lives, right? So like it's
correct.
Simultaneously just ridiculous and silly and also dangerous, and that's fascinating, right? You're taking this old story that was essentially an allegory for Vietnam, and you're making it now. You're not changing much, but it's still relevant. I mean, that there's just a lot to dig into there.
Yeah, some things never go out of style. Yep. Good shit.
John didn't want to get real, but here we are, John.
No,
this is the real world.
I realized I was sitting too close to my camera. I had to sit back.
Never too close.
Yeah, just what it is. No, look, it's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. And it fights against fascism, which I like. So, it's a good time.
Bold. John coming out against fascism. I like it.
Look, I think I said on the episode, I love the movie. The Mark Hamill performance is like, it's a little much. The casting bit, it was only when you all were talking about it during the episode where I was like, Oh,
He's Luke
like,
Skywalker.
yeah, I mean, I get it now, but like to bring a meta thing like that into the film, I think, like to ask the audience to,
I don't think
I
it's
don't know.
required.
One of my favorite
but I
theater
think
moments
it
all
is-
year. I didn't even know he was in it. So sitting in the theater, and you start hearing the voice, and you're like, I am
Is that the
like,
Joker.
I can't remember literally
Yeah.
anyone's names I've ever met, but I can remember like the timbre of a voice, even though his is now older and deeper and right like raspier. And I'm just like, I'm listening to his cadence, and I'm just like, I can't even pay attention to the movie. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I think the first close up of his face, I just was like,
Yeah. But this movie too, especially if you're like a Stephen King nerd who's been following him for decades and whatnot, had read this story long ago and have been, falling into it once they started making movies and stuff. This was like the story that everybody said could never be made. And to see it come out this good, it's just awesome. So
Yeah, now
kudos
let's
for
see them
that
make-
simple fact.
Let's see them make Rage from
Yeah.
comic books.
Right?
Good luck.
Renee says Long Walk is one of those Stephen King books I always recommend to people who don't really like his usual stuff.
No, it's great.
My dad, who owns like every Stephen King book, has never read this and I don't even think he knew about all these like Bachman books. So this was like a new thing for him.
The Bachman book collection is awesome. I mean, Running Man is pretty good as a book. So,
Ooh.
all right, let's do number 5. Are you guys ready? Number 5.
Mhm.
The movie is Bring Her Back. I would say, look, we're moving into like there's a very clear top 5 here. The movie is Bring Her Back. It's on 5 lists. Highest position, Rachel. I was surprised you had this number 2. Not surprised that you had it number 2. I thought I had this pretty high. You and I both had it in our top 3. But go ahead, Rachel. You are the presenter for Bring Her Back.
Well, you do know I love an ordeal of a movie. You know, I love a movie that I'm just gonna
The
ruin
feel-bad
my
movie
week.
of the year.
And
Yeah.
I know I called The Surrender the feel bad movie of the year, but this actually probably is the feel bad movie
I was
of the
curious
year.
because when you said that, I was like, because Bring Her Back is like, so is
Yeah.
Surrender better or worse? Like, where are we at on the
Surrender's
Bring Her Back?
intense in a different way.
Okay.
I wouldn't like cozy up with your family and hold them tight while you watch The Surrender either. But it's there's nobody chews on a butcher knife in it. I'll just say that.
Let's
me,
got
this
that going
was-
for it.
This was
Yeah,
kind of a test to some degree about whether or not that Danny and Michael Philippou had really had it. I really loved Let Me In. But like I wasn't sure what. It's Let Me In, right? Okay, you looked confused as
I forget the
well.
name of it. Bring Her Back. Let me
Yeah,
in. Yeah. okay.
Exactly. And I was concerned that might be a fluke, but to me, this like put my fears at ease. As
they're
lovely
great.
as they are, and as like bright and charming and fun and kind of chaotic as they are willing to go so dark. They went dark with that first film, and this movie proved that they have even darker depths that they want to plumb with their horror. And to that, I say, yes, please, bring it on. No other movie rattled me like this one this year. This is the one where I came out of the theater and kind of just like Matilda and I saw it together, and we just like stared at each other for a little while after like shaking our heads like, what the fuck did we just witness? And to me, that's special. As someone who's been watching horror for decades and is totally dead inside, when something really hits you, that is, like it sticks with you, and that's what we're all kind of chasing, right? Like that dragon of that. There are moments in this that I will never unsee, and I as I referenced, the butcher knife is certainly one of them. And despite it being just like gut punch after gut punch, it never got to the point that felt so punitive or so exploitative that it went over that line for me. But what it did for me was the most authentic depiction of despair that I saw all year. I think a lot of movies attempt.
I feel like we're
to do
really getting at the Rachel's psyche tonight.
that. I know. Much like them, I appear bright and shiny, but underneath the darkness, darkness, my old friend. but yeah, I love the world building they did. I love the cult they introduced, the symbolism. They never really explained it, and yet it still really felt fleshed out. The performances were incredible in this. I just loved this movie, and I've thought about it all year long. I will say, this is a random suggestion. If anybody at home liked this movie, you should definitely read The Devil Takes You Home by Iglesias Cabino, because it shares some DNA and it will make you feel just as bad. So you're welcome.
Look, for me, I think it was my number 3 movie. It's it's a movie I can't shake, right? Like I continue to sort of go back to it, or it'll pop into my head at random times. Your point on like how dark they're willing to go, it's really wild.
Yeah.
Because as a second film, you sort of teed it up, right? Like they had such a big hit with that first film, and then I feel like the stakes were high.
Mm-hmm.
And they really delivered something that, look, it did not work for everyone in the same way that the first film did necessarily, but I actually think it's better in a lot of ways. And just,
Agree.
I don't know, it's super dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think I was saying at the top, like the films that like stick with me, it's like, this is one that just stuck with me for sure. So
yeah. This was my number 4, and for the same reasons, it just sticks with you for the entire year, and you just feel kind of bad about it. But I also think it was a definite improvement for these two filmmakers from their first movies. So just to see them grow and see the direction it's going is impressive. I'm excited to see more.
Yeah.
Number 4,
Absolutely.
the film is Together.
Yay!
It was on 7 lists. So from here on out, we're on at least 7 lists for the next for the top 4 here. This is my number 1 movie. I
Yo, John.
You could have sold me on probably 3 or 4 different movies as my number 1 this year. I just love the movie.
Right?
I love the relationship between with Franco and
Dave Franco and Brie Larson.
Allison Brie.
Yes.
Or Alison Brie. Yeah, sorry. Brie Larson.
Wrong Brie.
It's not our best thing. Allison Brie, Dave Franco. I mean, I love what this movie is saying or exploring. I don't love what it's saying. I love what it's exploring about relationships. I don't know. I liked it. It has a Cronenbergian quality to it in terms
You do love that weird body horror shit, John.
I got Yuzna. I'm thinking Brian Yuzna when I watched this one. Yeah.
Well, and I think we talked about it during the show, but for a movie like this, there's this question of like, are they going to go all the way with it? And for me, that final shot where the parents are coming to the luncheon,
the music, the Spice Girls,
works. Like it fucking works. It's so good. So, yeah, it was my number 1, and it was a good time.
I don't remember where I had that. Pretty high.
You did. So here's the thing.
3. I had a 3.
There's a line at the top 4. There is a very clear top 4 films for the year based on our voting, and it shows up even in the patron voting to a certain extent. Although we'll get to that.
I thought this was great, and I agree. What makes it great is that they go there. It really is. I think their chemistry, obviously, like they're married, so there's the interesting kind of chemistry there. I do think, and I think we covered this. Like, I've always really liked Dave Franco. Like, let's be real, he's getting carried here by his lovely wife in some ways. Like, she's just an incredible actress, and he's also there is a lot of what's happening. Yeah, but it works. The special effects are amazing. I think it's a fascinating film about modern love and codependence. And again, another thing where it just works as a genre movie, but there's also all this interesting stuff going on underneath it. In a similar vein to Companion, to me, honestly. Like, I think without Together, Companion goes higher up the list, but I think I give the edge to Companion or to Together.
Eric, you had this as your number 3.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
I really liked it.
This is like the rare body horror where you don't feel bad after. And that's, as we all know, that it's not necessarily a problem for me, but it was kind of fun to leave a body horror film with a little pep in my step. But I think it's largely to do with the incredible chemistry of these two actors and the fact that they were, as a real life couple, able to bring some humor and some lightness to some of the darker relationship, the dynamics that I think if it was cast differently would feel much heavier and would maybe obscure some of the other things we really
Well,
enjoyed
and listen, if
about
you've been
this.
together with somebody that long and you're acting together in the story, like, you're bringing stuff from your own lives into it, right? And I think that's part of what gives it that heavy feeling.
But they've got the obvious chemistry too, which goes a long way. Chemistry between a leading couple in a movie goes a long way to making, to selling that relationship, and they've got that in spades. So it just works very well.
It would have been a completely different movie to have 2 actors who weren't
Right.
not in a marriage when they made it. Would have been interesting. I don't know. Let's make it again. Together too.
Yeah. Do it again with Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard.
No, thank you.
Oh,
we
no.
gotta-
Sorry.
Remember what I said about the dynamic, the chemistry?
Dax Shepard the hell off my television forever.
And ever.
They're literally making that movie every week in the podcast. I don't think they need to make a movie for that.
Okay. Look, I have no opinion one way or the other about the 2 of them.
I got plenty of opinions for both of us, John. It's all right.
Kristen Bell, by the way, was just on. We were watching on Netflix with our kids. Is it Cake Holiday Edition? She was one of the
Cute.
judges.
My kids do really like Is It Cake.
Is it Cake is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I would recommend Is It Cake. What I would also recommend is our top 3, which we're going to transition into. Number 3, the movie is Sinners, and it was on 7 lists. Does anyone want to volunteer who didn't list it on their list?
Rachel.
It was me. I don't like
It
that
was
movie.
Rachel.
No, I already knew this. Rachel has beef. Rachel has Sinners beef. You didn't know this, John? Pay attention.
Well, I mean, I like.
I don't have Sinners beef. I just liked 10 other movies more.
You have Sinners beef,
Well,
Rachel. We've discussed it.
Let's
No.
just get to it.
Don't put that on the internet.
So, Sinners was Joe's number 1. Joe Ferry's number 1. Casey, you are our presenter. You had this in your number 3.
Yeah. This was a good. Epic is the word I want to use. It tells a grand story, which is the best part of it. And then you got Michael B. Jordan playing 2 roles here, which to me always in the past is always seen as a gimmick. Here, I think they make it work very well, and really it just comes down more than anything to me. The story is very solid, and I love the story of the twins and their journey and how this comes together with the kind of invading vampires. And culturally it was neat to see this of this vampire story coming from an angle that us white folk aren't used to, and it was very entertaining. And it looks gorgeous. I mean, as far as Ryan Coogler as a director, this is an amazing looking movie. It's got Blockbuster all over it, and another director that I enjoyed what he put together here. I'm not as excited as, say, like the folks behind Bring Her Back to see what they come up with next, but as far as horror movies go, but Ryan Coogler, I think, is a great director. I don't know that it's going to be a horror movie we see out of him next, but I'm excited to see what he does.
I think
He's doing X-Files next.
I think he
yeah.
is. He is. I think it's really fascinating.
Oh my God.
I think it's really fascinating. Like, to have this guy who had all this Marvel success, and I think this was a big story for him this year as well, just like a story with Black actors and characters, very deeply about Black culture and history, that this story sort of came out, like nobody really wanted to kind of back him on this, and it was new IP and ended up just killing at the box office.
Yeah.
Just
Which I
that
love.
in itself I think great story for horror, fascinating story for film, just in general. And I think that rightfully got the whole thing a lot of praise. And when you watch the movie, like what's interesting about it to me is that there is like a depth of themes and characters and like that whole real first half where we're meeting the characters and we're getting to see this world, understanding how they move in it, what it, you know, the sort of racial implications and the American historical implications. That stuff is also fantastic. What's sort of always stuck with me about it is that like all the way up to like fascinating, you know, ruminations on music and culture and racism and like, but then the horror part is just like, meh. Like the horror part's just kind of like half-assed from dusk till dawn, sort of like. That's where I'm not gonna say it falls apart because like to me it does not discredit how fascinating the first half of that is, but I just don't think the same effort's being put into like it being a horror film. This is where I'm praising something like Companion, where it's very tense and fun and exciting and in a kind of a genre way, where I just don't think Sinners is. I don't want that to take away from the fact that like it's really well written from a character standpoint to a degree that we don't normally see in horror films like this. And I totally understand why it hit for so many people. To me, it's just not a total package, which is why I had it on my list in the middle somewhere, but it's just
number 5.
It didn't blow me away because of that.
I actually don't even know, and I had this movie, I think it was my number 4, I don't know, but like I don't know that Ryan Coogler thought he was making a horror movie. Like I don't know that that was exactly what he was trying to do.
I mean, John, there's like vampires and shit.
There's vampires, sure, but all the points you were just making, like it's a fucking awesome movie in so many other ways.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's definitely not failing in those other ways. I wouldn't even say it fails as a horror film. It feels tacked on in some ways.
It will be a Best Picture nominee. Like this movie will get a Best Picture nomination, and I'm like 100% supportive of that. Is it one of the best horror movies of the year? Like, it's like an awesome movie that has vampire stuff and like lots of gore and like a woman spitting into a guy's mouth. Like there's
that
weird
part I
shit
like.
happening. Yeah, there's weird shit happening in this movie that I'm into, but like
I actually forgot about that until you said it.
Supportive of, not into, but you know, but. Rachel.
Yeah, in the comments we're getting a lot of like
you want to know
Jimmy,
my beef with it? It's sorry,
very,
go ahead, Eric.
very briefly, but just like what Jimmy is saying here, love it as a film, like it as a horror movie. That's kind of the consensus I'm seeing. Like, yeah,
it's sure,
which is fine, but
Rachel.
you know, we deal in horror here.
Yeah,
give us the beef.
My issue is strictly about it's the same issue I have with like mob movies, is that every female character in the movie is the epitome of male gaze, not just in like, oh, they're attractive, but the way you can see the way that men imagine women are through it. And there's, it is, and I get that that's a part of this genre, which I would put this in, right? Like it's kind of a gangster movie for that first half. But in 2025, I'm done with it. I'm leaving it in 2024. Like I need for people to write women as human beings, or I'm not going to enjoy the film. That being said, I love everything you guys have talked about with this film. I think it is spectacle. I think the music is incredible. I think the performances are great. But every time a woman comes on screen, except for when she's spitting in someone's mouth or she exists as Wunmi Mosaku, like it is, I feel diminished by the gaze of this film as a woman. That's my problem with it.
Renee says, yes, Rachel, in all caps.
Renee. That's really my only beef with it. I don't like how it treats its women. And I feel
it's like a substantial beef, but fair enough. It's well made, otherwise, you're saying.
Yes. I mean, like, for people who love it, like, I love that for you. But like, I do think we are in the process of talking about this movie, losing any gender critique in it, and it drives me crazy. And so I'm trying not to do it, but you made me do it.
I told you had beef with it. Don't lie to me.
Where do you land on that Irish guy with his jig and so forth?
Where do I land on it? I mean, I think the metaphor of vampires as like consumerism and like the like acquisition and and cultural appropriation is a really fascinating choice. And I think
Yeah.
that the actors will cast for that.
He's coming in with his Irish jig and stealing.
Well
music.
done.
I will say that whole music montage into modern day is really a neat little thing in that film. One of the
It's
more
an
memorable
incredible-
moments of the year for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
agree.
Like, does
Alright,
it make
guys.
any sense? And I have no idea, but it was cool. It looked cool.
We have 2 movies left.
It's like Avatar. You're like, sure, dude.
Let's
looked
go.
cool.
I do
Let's keep
not
going.
say sure dude to Avatar.
Keep
I say
me
no, thank you, sir.
avataring.
No, thank you.
The next film. It is The Ugly Stepsister. Number 2. It is on 7 lists. It was the number 1 film for Eric, Rachel, and Ariel. Eric, you will be our presenter. Tell us.
I'm in
about-
good company. Look at
Yes,
that.
a man of taste. A man of
Thank you.
taste, sophistication.
Refined. I'm in a
Refined.
Renaissance man, Rachel.
Yes. Ally over here.
I think when I look back on 20, if in 5 years from now, if you showed me this list of films I voted on, I think the only thing I'm going to remember is that tapeworm scene.
Yeah.
And it is just one of the most striking, disgusting, like fascinating, poignant horror films of the last 10 years. And the way that it's sort of appropriating a nursery or a fairy tale essentially to like be kind of subversive, flip it on its head, but also say a lot about women's sort of plights historically, but also in modern times, right? Because so much of it is relevant still. I mean, it just blew me away from top to bottom.
Yeah. Hard agree with everything you said. It
Yeah.
was one of the earliest movies I saw this year, and I was like, "Well, that's the best movie of the year."
I
And
kind of felt the
nothing
same
even
way.
Came close.
I was like, I
nothing
think this is going to be my number
touched
one.
it.
Yeah. And to
Yeah.
me,
I'll
like,
be honest, this was my number 1 until Frankenstein all year.
and to me, like, Long Walk was my number 2, and I was like, man, this is the genre movie though. So like, I got to go with that. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
more than anything, and like Eric touched on it with the tapeworm scene, I haven't seen a body horror movie done this well in a long time that turned out to be such a great movie on top of the body horror that mixes them so well. And it's just brutal, and they make it all fit so well into the period that they've set it in the era and everything. And it's just kind of a beautiful thing if you're into the body horror.
Yeah. I mean, this is the second year in a row that a beauty body horror film was in the top
Yeah.
2. Because last year it was The Substance, right? These are both
Yep.
women-directed films that explore.
And that, as you know, I was not crazy about The Substance, but
No, Eric
I did love
did
this
not
one.
have it on his list. I actually saw that.
But also,
once
I
going
don't
back
like
to
body
last year.
horror, and that's not to say there's anything wrong with it, but I can't handle it. Like I find it
Yeah.
discomforting
fair,
in a
too.
way that's not fun. You know what I mean? Like we all have our things like,
Yeah.
oh, this makes me uncomfortable in a way I enjoy. This is not a way I enjoy. And partially why that, like, I was traumatized by that tapeworm scene, honestly. Like,
I mean, it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
But yeah, this to me is the most like inside job of a movie I have seen all year, where it really, I think it works whether you understand personally the dynamics of like the pressures and the like systemic oppression of the beauty standards, or just as a creepy body horror fairy tale. I don't think you have to, but it's there if you want to delve into that. You will see things from your life. You will see the impacts on the people around you or yourself. It's all there, and it's packaged within a fairy tale, which is the very first like relationship, gender propaganda that we get as children is all those things: love, romance, beauty as morality. All of those things are modeled to us like as children through fairy tales. So the use of that and that language and that like shared language is so brilliant to me. I just am
Yeah.
so impressed with Emily Blackfield. I just think she is, like, to me, she's going to be in that same like echelon with Coralie Fargeois, Julia Ducournau, like just the absolute cutting edge, like transgressive women filmmakers right now. I find her profoundly exciting. I'm so excited to see what she does
There-
next.
Well,
I
to
do
me,
think
that-
there's.
Go ahead, John.
I was going to say there's a lot of folks who played with the fairy tale horror movie thing,
Right.
and this
Totally.
Yeah.
actually does it, you know, in a way that like a lot of them, it's like they like tweak one thing or they like turn it like slightly on its head, and this takes it to a level of grotesque that you just haven't seen.
Well, and despite all we talked about with this movie and how grotesque it is and brutal, and you know it can affect you, the use of her use of the fairy tales actually allows her to inject some humor into this too, some dark humor in here to make this movie have a surprising amount of laughs.
And like Sinners, impressive dance number. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
Nobody talks about the dance number in this.
Wait, so one of the comments said is it an Oscar shortlist? Is it on the like foreign feature
I
shortlist?
think so. Yeah.
Nice.
Is it? Nice.
That's cool. Okay, we're down to number one. I think everyone could probably guess what it is at this point. The film is
can't.
Weapons. Weapons.
Is it the
You
rule
can't
of Jenny
remember that
Penn?
movie?
It must be the rule of
Weapons.
Jenny Penn.
Yeah, I thought for sure it was gonna be Jenny Pin.
John, Weapons made such a little impression on me this year that I literally was sitting here like, what is number one? Like, I actually didn't know.
Really?
Weapons is on. It was on.
Nah,
all,
son.
It was on all 8 voters' lists. So here's the funny thing: up until the very last votes were being counted, there was a chance that Weapons was going to be our first number one film that did not receive a single number one vote. But Matilda had it as her number one vote.
I had it at number 10, and
Yeah.
it was largely peer pressure. I felt like I just should.
Well, look, it worked because here we are.
So,
Son
peer
of a
pressure
bitch.
works, folks.
It was in 6 top 3s. So like it wasn't just.
So this only had one actual number one vote.
It had one number one.
Fascinating.
But it was in 6 top 3s, and it was on every single list, including Eric's at number 10, as we've just discussed. Rachel, you are a presenter. I think now. Let me look. Let me verify for you. I think it was your number 3 film.
Yeah, I really loved this movie.
It's a good time.
Much like the Philippou twins, right? Like this is the sophomore effort. This is the test. Like can this person recreate the magic, or similarly, I'm not, Eric, don't start. Similarly recreate the magic of Barbarians. That was one of the best movies of 2022. To me, this is one of the best horror films. Like purely, it is definitely a horror film of 2025. And I think why it works is because he so effectively zigs when you expect him to zag. I think that he does a really good job of knocking you off your feet with both horror and humor because of his background through sketch comedy. And he can like kind of dance back and forth with them very effortlessly and blend those two things in ways that work and are complementary to each other. I also think he has a gift for creating visual moments that definitely imprint on your mind. This is another one where there are a few moments that have absolutely stuck with me all year, whether it was like the way that the children run. Like that is something that was immediately iconic when he did it. The 6 hot dogs on a tray gave me so much joy, and we've been joking about it all year. And then, of course, my queen, Aunt Gladys. It introduced Aunt Gladys, for whom we are going to get a prequel, and I cannot wait to see. I found this movie weird and cathartic. The ending was one of like the most fun moments I had in a theater all year. Everybody was like uncomfortably and relievingly laughing as the like chaos ensued in that very final act. And it has made me very excited to see what he's going to do with Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Resident Evil. Good God. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a movie? You just sucked me back into reality for a second. I was like, Resident Evil? What?
Yeah, he's making the next Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Fascinating.
More than anything, after seeing this and Barbarian, the dude's doing weird stuff in horror movies, and that's what we need. We just need somebody doing unique stuff, and it's not necessarily reinventing the genre, but he's doing fun stuff that we haven't seen before, or at least in a very long time, and it's putting new spins on it. I'm here for it. Let's see more.
I agree. I mean, look, I think this movie cut through. It did 300 million or so. I think was the number globally. Like, this movie crossed over as much as anything. I mean, Sinners maybe more so, but that Aunt Gladys character, you already mentioned the kids, the way they run. Like, it's just, I don't know. It is an excellent movie. It's super well done. Like, people are going to be watching and talking about this movie for years to come. So that's what it comes down to. Yeah.
I love our enthusiasm for number one. We're really on fire for this movie.
This year for me,
It's fine.
There were these sort of like 3, 4, 5 movies, and then there's this like very long tail of stuff that like a lot of different people liked in different flavors. This was just one of the ones that actually worked, and it worked for everyone.
I think it's too long.
So-
I think it's considerably too long,
Sure.
but I will also admit a certain amount of bias. Like, and this is just my fault. I can't. This is not valid. But when you make Barbarians, Barbarian.
Yes.
What I would have
There
liked
was
to see
only
is
one.
Barbarians. No, but if you make Barbarian, like, I just expect more. Barbarian was such a tremendously weird, incredible film, and this is not as good. And that's not necessarily like a fair bar to judge someone by. But I was just walking in and be like, all right, Barbarian 2, let's go. And then I was just like, all right.
Yeah.
It's more ambitious, though. I will say that. Like, I think it's a much more ambitious film than Barbarian, and so like if they don't hit all those marks, like, okay, I think you understand a little bit.
Narratively, even structurally, the way that it's put together is more ambitious.
I will go to bat for the hot dog scene, Yes, Aunt Gladys was iconic, but I saw more hot dog memes this year in horror than like maybe anything else. So
Clearly, your drag queen feed is lacking because I saw nothing but wall-to-wall Gladys.
yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. I like that. What's that? Julia, whatever her name is. She's great.
Garner.
Julia Garner.
And yeah, it was. It
And I
felt
did get to do my
restorative
impression of her
after
on,
Wolfman. Like, we needed a good
Yeah.
Julia Garner.
I did get to do my
2025.
impression of her on Ozark, so that was fun. I did enjoy that about the show.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to
There we
kill
go.
me.
That's our top 10. Do you want me to give it to you in order quickly?
Sure.
Yes, please.
So we have number 1, Weapons, The Ugly Stepsister, Sinners, Together, Bring Her Back, A Long Walk, Influencers, Frankenstein, Companion, and 28 Years Later.
Only one
Okay.
film. No, I understand why all the movies are on the list. Like, there's nothing I have mega beef with, I guess.
Yeah.
Mega beef. Just medium beef.
I have medium beef with
Modest
28
beef.
years later.
Well, here's the part. Look, we're going to get into some fun stuff. We're going to do the Patreon vote, but before we do that, I like to do the top picks on each of your lists that didn't make the
Ooh,
top 10.
I know what mine is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Eric's is the most obvious. And I'm going to do these in order that they were on the list. So, Eric, your number 4 film was Him.
Oh, I
Defend
loved
yourself.
him. I loved him. I think him is better than Sinners. I'm just gonna say it.
I'm
It's
actually
such a hot
very
take.
into this hot take.
I think him is
Eric take.
fascinating and campy and funny and really like actually navel gazy about football in a way I wasn't expecting, which was like kind of fascinating. Great performance. It's also a hot ass mess, but it's like a huge swing. Like, I had so much fun in the theater watching him.
I thought I was the only one on the show. I remember
And it's
this
just
so
pretty.
wrong.
It's just a pretty movie.
But Rachel, you didn't have it in. Did you have it in your top 10? I don't think you.
Him,
No.
I didn't. Like I said, I
Eric was
liked
the
it, but
only one who
there
had
were
this in his top
10 I liked more, you know? But I
It
was
was
so
hu-
delighted
so-
that it got mentioned on the show because I really have felt alone on my island of defending that movie.
I didn't think that was actually going to be my pick, John, because I didn't realize other people didn't put that on. But I'm going to save my pick because I have it on my ancillary list you asked me to
All right.
put
Very
together.
nice. All right. Really quickly, I'm going to mention Matilda, our dear friend Matilda. She had a film called Dead Male as her number 5. You ever heard of this movie? Rachel, do you know anything
I
about
have
Dead Male?
mentioned it so many. Anytime we're like, "What are we watching?" I'm like, "Well, you know, Dead Male's on Shudder."
You mean you've mentioned it to like the 3 of us?
Yes, all year long.
What's the story with Dead Male? What should we be?
It is such a strange film. It's a little hard to describe, but like the elevator pitch is it is set in a world like I think in the 80s, and there is a man who is trying to perfect the synthesizer and another man who becomes obsessed with him.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
You're the person I don't want to overhype it and then have you not like it, but I've been like pushing this like subtly. I should have just gone to Mill. So he's obsessed with him, and it's like a tale of his obsession with this man. Meanwhile, there is a guy who works in the he's like this kind of cool dude that works in the dead mail department and gets a bloody fragment of a letter and is trying to track him down before it's too late. But it doesn't do justice to how strange this film is. It's the vibe is unlike anything else. It is. I'm barely scratching the surface of how fucking weird this movie is, but it is a total, like, to me, an odd hidden gem that is the kind of shit you would have found at midnight back in the day. It is so strange. It's on Shudder. I'm so excited she liked it because it is fucking weird, man. But I love it.
Rachel, your movie from the top picks not on the list was Dust Bunny, number 8.
Yes, the best movie nobody freaking saw this year. Nobody saw this.
It had, like,
Never even heard of it.
Absurd release.
I know.
Schedule plan,
and they kept moving it. It was a mess. It was a mess. So this is the first film that by Brian Fuller, who everybody knows from like Hannibal, the Star Treks, Dead Like Me. He makes these quirky, strange. He makes these really quirky films. He's like. He's an amazing showrunner, right? But this is his first feature film, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It is visually lush and bizarre, and he does this like kind of.
It's like a kid's like. Can I show my kids the movie? This is the question.
I honestly think yes. So
it's like it is marketed that way. It's marketed in sort of, you know.
Yeah, it is. What it is it is like totally a throwback to the kind of like horror we watched growing up, in that it is through the perspective of a child, but it doesn't feel like it's childishly pandering to that audience. The emotions and the themes are very adult. It like invites people of all ages to enjoy it. It's very imaginative. And it also has like a very rad, all practical, like it's mostly practical monster in it. It's what it's about is it is this little girl who is convinced that the monster under her bed has eaten her parents. So she goes down the hall to the assassin that lives up the hall from her and tries to pay him to kill the monster under her bed. And then gets kind of caught in the crosshairs of this like world of assassins. And it's kind of John Wicky in that it's a little, hyper realistic, or not hyper realistic, but like alternate realism. But it has a great cast. It's Mads Mikkelsen, Sigourney Weaver is great in it. David Dastmalchian, who's an actor that I absolutely love, is in it. It's R-rated for reasons I do not understand. I do not know why it's
rated R?
I do not know why. There's like no blood or anything in it. You could preview it and see. I have no idea. I genuinely do not know. Maybe they say fuck twice or something. I don't know. But I think it's great starter horror. I would have absolutely gone crazy for this when I was a kid. I loved this movie, and I wish more people had had the chance to see it in the theater because it's gorgeous.
Now that you say that, I had no idea it was rated R. I literally was looking at the poster, I'm looking at the trailer, and I'm like, oh, is this like a PG-13 or even PG movie that I can take my kids to? No, it's rated R. What? Like, that blows my mind.
Yeah, it's there's no way it's scarier or more violent than Gremlins. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
It's
I did show only one of my children would watch Gremlins with me at it was my 9-year-old at Christmas, and
she would be fine with Bugs Bunny. Yeah, she would be fine. It's like the monster's actually kind of cute, even though it's a little scary. It's deeply charming, and it is 100% would have been my favorite movie if I was a kid, like my favorite.
Casey, your top pick and not on the list was The Rule of Jenny Penn, which I couldn't let us get through the podcast without talking about The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Yep, I think it was my number 8. John Lithgow, Jeffrey Rush, hamming it up and chewing scenery in a nursing home. What more could you ask for, really?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's just a good weird set for. It's just, yeah, it's a good weird way to spend an hour and a half, on Shudder. I believe it's a good time. You're not going to see anything else like it, and you get to see these two, veteran actors, very great actors, do their thing. So.
That's the thing, Casey. You're never going to see anything else like it, and you've never seen anything else like it, because nursing home horror is not a big genre.
It's not a genre yet. Nice.
John Lithgow. So, I love that we get now another great John Lithgow horror performance that's not from Dexter, because Dexter has aged so poorly. It's nice that we can just forget about it. Dude, he is absolutely disgustingly terrifying in this film. We talked about it in the show, but it's basically like Jaws. He's Jaws in a nursing home. The nursing home is the water. He's Jaws. Just a completely psychotic, bent film. So good. It's great. You've been laughing at me all year, John. I'm dead ass serious.
But I agree. It's a weird ass movie. You're never going to see anything like it. That's for sure. My top pick not on the list was Best Wishes to All, which I ended up putting on my list at the very end of the year.
Hey!
It's another one that, I'm not going to forget watching that fucking movie 10 years from now. I'm going to remember that fucking movie. So, it's just super weird. It's doing a lot of cultural commentary, maybe a little too ham-fistedly, but I liked it anyway. There you are. And then I'll just throw in Ariel. At number 10, she had Hard Eyes, which, we'll make fun of her next time she's on the show.
I loved Hard Eyes. Well, okay, loved is maybe, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
You loved it less than Ariel, so.
Yeah, she loved that movie. She tried to hype it up, and I was like,
Hard Eyes gets a bad rap. It's interesting. Yeah. It's doing something different. It's interesting.
All right, let's do the patrons.
Please,
patrons
God.
Voted. You remember the patrons? Yeah. We love the patrons. Guys, we had 49 patron votes this year. That was actually one more than last year. So many, many thank yous to everyone who voted.
Nice.
54 total films received a vote. Here's what I'll say. I, as someone who has to go through the patron spreadsheet, there are instructions about copying and pasting the things. I feel like people don't think.
There's not a single person do it right?
No. I would say
I can't talk because I just emailed you my list like a lazy person.
No, but they were fine. I had to, there was some data cleanup. And so here's what I was going to say. It's there could be more than 54 total films. I think I really tried to get it as clean as I could.
Unless we get more patrons, we can't hire a data input assistant for Schnars.
Well,
so
you know what? Next year, ChatGPT's going to do it for me. I feel really good. They're going to be on ChatGPT 7 at that point, and I'll be able to do that. It'll murder a whole forest, but that's fine. It'll save me 30 minutes. So, all right. 14 different number one films by the patrons. 14. Which I thought was a lot, but I looked back at last year. There were 15 films number one last year, so it is what it is. The patron vote, there was like a very clear top two. Then there are probably like 5 or 6 films, and you then start to get into the really long tail. I'm going to do these from 10 to 1.
They're fighting it out in the comments about who did this properly, John.
Guys, I'm not going to name names. Don't worry. No one's getting named. You're all good patrons in my book.
He's going to tell you this as he's standing over you, pulling the plug. you
didn't copy and paste.
Do the copy paste.
All right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna count it down from 10. I'm just gonna rip through these, and then we'll talk. I got a couple of notes. Number 10 for the patrons. You guys are you're gonna hear some differences. Number 10, The Monkey. Number 9.
Forgot about that movie.
Yeah. Number 9, The Long Walk. Number 8, 28 Years Later. Number 7, Frankenstein. Number 6, Final Destination Bloodlines.
It was fun.
5,
The
5,
MRI kill.
Companion. 4, Ugly Stepsister. 3, Bring Her Back. And this is where, like I said, we get to the top 2. Sinners at number 2. Weapons, number 1.
Universal. Wow.
Second year in a row, I went back and looked. So we did the voting in 24, 23, and I think it was just those 2 years actually. We had the same. We both had Substance last year, but we had different number ones in 2023. So here we are.
Love it.
Indoctrination works. That's what I'm hearing. Excellent.
Well, yes. Here's what I'll say. So the biggest swings. Final Destination, The Monkey. Both of those films were only on one list each. So Shelton had Final Destination on his list. I think Casey, you had The Monkey on your list.
Yep.
And they ended up in the patron top 10. On the flip side, together, my number one film together was the 11th patron film. I don't know, patrons.
Damn.
I don't.
Well, thank you to
We did
everyone who
not embrace
voted.
joy.
Thank you to our patrons for keeping us going another year.
100%.
We love you guys.
Quickly, we had one patron who had Toxic Avenger number 1. I wanted to give a hat tip to that person. There was also a vote for Silent Night, Deadly Night as number 1. I still feel like we might need to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
I know. It got into the theater right at the end of the year. We weren't going to make it.
Dust Bunny-itis. Yeah.
Exactly. Casey, you and the patrons had 8 of the top 10 the same.
I feel like that's pretty common, isn't it? Or Casey usually has the closest to the top 10.
I'm a
man of the people.
Score. I was gonna say you had 8 of the top 10. I did a similarity score where I sort of like matched like where you had them on the list, and I had a closer list than the patrons, even though my number 1 was not on the patron list. So, Eric, this is where we're gonna go to the J stats.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, hold on. Yes. Okay.
Those are our top 10s, by the way. Mostly the same.
Yay.
Great work,
Thank you,
everyone.
John. All right, Jay sent us an email with some stats. I am blind and can't see, but I'm going to do my best here. Maybe this is, I don't know. We'll try. Okay.
Can
Hey,
you
guys.
enlarge it?
No, I'm in text. It's all there. It's my second annual statistical breakdown of the podcast. Sorry for the length. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. We reviewed 42 films. The breakdown of appearances on the podcast as follows. Eric, 42. Casey, 40. John, 37. Rachel, 36. Ariel, 7. Matilda, 2. And Joe Ferry, 1. We got to get Joe
No
on
wonder
there for
YouTube's
sure.
sick of me.
As I mentioned in the last episode, this was definitely the most critical the podcast has been of the films in quite some time. This year's 42 films received recommendations at a rate of 66.67%, significantly down from last year's 79.89.
Oh, wow. That's a huge drop.
I had hoped to catalog the entire backlog, but did you guys know that you've done over 800 episodes? Yes. And here's an interesting side trivia. The final episode of 2014 was for Tusk. Would anyone care to guess the length of that episode? Time's up. It was 1 hour and 42 minutes. That's 102 minutes, or 6 minutes less than just watching the movie, and it wasn't an outlier. So no, unfortunately, I didn't get through every episode this year. We used to be young and had time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had nothing going on, so like, you know.
Yeah.
However, 2025 was the least recommended year since at least 2022, with data from 2016 to 21 incomplete, although it does fall just behind 2010 to 2012, when you guys hated everything, and especially Joe, who remains by far the least predictable podcaster. The average recommendation in those years were in the 64% range. What was very interesting this year was that there was a significant divide between the four main hosts. Two of you liked quite a few movies, and two of you definitely did not. In what might be the shocker of the season, least hateful this year goes to Rachel with an approval rating of, that's not a shocker to me, of 77.78%. Just edging out.
Compliment. Make me feel bad.
just edging out Casey at 77.5. The difference was essentially Rachel not being on the terrible I Know What You Did Last Summer remake episode. Also, Casey is still down significantly from his 90.24% approval last year. 90? That's wild, bro. Ariel liked 5 out of 7 films, while Matilda and Joe Ferry were a perfect 3 for 3, but don't meet the minimum appearance rule to qualify for the award. On the other side, Eric and John spent all year emceeing the Player Haters Ball and ended up less than 1% apart in their displeasure, with a brutal 54.76%. Eric somehow just misses out on this year's hater crown because John managed to have an even lousier year with 54.05%. If John could have been bothered to watch Weapons, this almost certainly would have flipped.
Oh, I did watch Weapons.
Was you were thumbs up or down?
I would have been an up for sure.
Okay, so maybe I'm the biggest hater.
I
of
just
them all, John.
wasn't on the episode for whatever reason. Yeah, okay.
So you can amend this, Jace. I am the biggest hater. Okay. As for the films, of the 42, only 18 got unanimous approval compared to 27 last year. 6 films splitting the vote 2-2, and only one of those that wasn't Eric John versus Rachel Casey was Fear Street Prom Queen, which, to remind everyone, Eric recommended and Casey did not. I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing that happened in this movie, so.
Oh, that's good.
You weren't on the show, John, so that's why your approval rating
I thought I was
doesn't count
on that show.
Apparently not.
Fear Street, no? I did watch it.
No. Jace is saying Weapons. That's why you technically win.
Yeah.
Samantha Christ says the Statler and Waldorf of BGH. I mean, we knew this.
Yeah, it's no surprise.
Another 8 received only 1 negative sentiment, while 5 films received only 1 approval. The crown of Mr. Contrarian, to no one's surprise, was Eric in a landslide, who was the only hater for 5 out of the 8 films, and also, surprisingly, the only person to recommend Megan 2.0.
Wild.
You'll never live it down.
Wild.
Never.
I'm proud, buddy.
Wild.
The closest, you can't pin me down, and that's like
That
that's
is
all I
so
can
true.
hope for. The closest anyone else got was 2 films, a tie between Schnars and Ariel. John was also the only person who didn't like a film that nobody else liked, which further supports my theory that his recommendations are based solely on test audience feedback. Lastly, only 5 films received complete disgust, 0 out of 4 recommendations. These films are Ash. What is that?
It was the like sci-fi, like they're.
Oh,
they're
yes.
Like,
Screw that.
yeah,
That sucked.
whatever.
Until Dawn, The Conjuring Last Rites, The Strangers Chapter 2, and Black Phone 2. I stand behind all of that hating.
Yeah, of course.
And finally, based on my records, which do include 6 years of incomplete data, this year was the first time a film has received a not recommended and also ended up on a top 10 list thanks to Eric and the rule of Jenny Penn. There have been multiple non-recommendations after praising a film, most recently Schnars saying no to Frankenstein, mostly to get a rise out of Rachel, but none of these appear to have resulted in inclusions in top 10 lists. So that is some BGH history. Thank you.
I wasn't on that episode.
Thanks again for another great year. I think that was one of those where I was like, I like this, but I don't want to listen to people be mad at me when they watch it. So I was like, no, I don't recommend it. But I will accept being the enigma of BGH.
Upset Rachel, just to be clear. So
Rob
You
Nelson
live to
wants to
upset
get.
me.
We should do this, not
true.
FanDuel. What are those like prediction markets? Let's set up some. Let's get our patrons voting against
Let's
each other
go.
for next year.
Calci,
Yes.
give
yes.
us a ring.
Prediction market.
Mhm.
Thank you, Jace, for that. Much
Amazing.
appreciated. Some very fascinating insight. My gut read on this year is that I didn't like it as much as last year. So the fact that the numbers back that up, like that proves.
No, it
fair
for
to me.
sure. It shows up even in like when you look at how the voting worked out and like.
I think
where people
50% of
felt
the stuff on my
strongly.
list this year would not have made it last year.
Yeah.
Honestly, so
I
feel.
think the real barometer on the year is that Rachel and I only like 77% of the movies out there this year.
I can usually find something to appreciate, even if I'm like,
Exactly.
never gonna watch it again. You know,
I have
can-
noticed.
yeah.
I did notice, John. You were harder to please this year.
I had a harder time coming up with my top 10 this year than I have in the past, for sure.
Yeah.
It's where like we watched that, whatever it was, Best Wishes, and I was like, oh, hello,
Yeah.
top 10, you're on. Let's go.
Well, thank you for that, Jace. Much appreciated. You have 366 days to get through the back catalog. So I relate to these people that listen through. I just started back my favorite podcast from like back. I went back to 2010 to start over.
I can't keep up with the podcasts I do listen to, let alone the back catalogs, but yeah, God bless you.
I'm going to the big guns for disassociation this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
Smart, smooth. Eric,
I need to do
That's a-
something while I'm waiting for the news to hit my feed, John.
so that is a very nice transition because I wanted to end us this year. I wanted to do something fun. We want to do our top 5. I asked all of you to bring your top 5 things from 2025 that brought you joy. They
Yeah.
can't be horror movies. That was my only rule. Although maybe you
Too bad.
throw a horror movie in there. So I can't control Eric. I don't know what he does. I'm gonna go first because I made this up and gave so few parameters. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna rip through them. We'll each rip through them. Everybody can comment if you want, and then we'll be done. We'll be ready for 2026. How does that sound?
Good.
Great. I see lots of blank stares. That's
It
cool.
sounds joyful.
We're
All
gonna
right.
make it gay.
So, my top 5. Number 5 for me was going on a walk in the middle of the workday.
That is so wholesome.
Well, here's the thing. You guys, I mean, we've talked about on the show or, certainly over text. Like, I work from my apartment every day, basically all day. I don't stop working most of the time. And so there are times where I'm just like, I got to get the fuck away from my computer and I'll just go for a walk. And sometimes it's a 10-minute walk. Sometimes it's a 1-hour walk. Often I will be answering emails while I'm walking on my phone. I will sometimes be on phone calls while I'm on my walk. I
love I love a walking meeting.
Yeah, I need to not be looking at my computer. So that's my
Yeah.
number 5, is like going for a walk during the workday. Number 4, I'm gonna call this Avatar 3 as my number 4. Really, what it is, this is the year. So my youngest child is now 7 years old. This is the year when like I've gotten to the point with all 3 of my kids where I start building up a movie with them, like weeks, or in the case of Avatar 3, months in advance. And when the fucking movie comes out, they're seeing the ads all over. They're so excited to go to the fucking movies.
That sounds nice. My kids
Nice.
don't
And
care.
then we go to the movies. And it is like a fucking event. It's exactly what you want. And we have a great time. And Avatar 3 was like, I mean, look, it's awesome. I don't know if you guys have seen Avatar 3. I've been calling it Avatar 2.5 because I feel like it's basically just like Avatar 2, and then they did a little bit more. There's like a lot of other shit going on there, and it's also 3.5 hours long. It's still awesome. Like it's still great. We saw it in 3D IMAX. Like,
Do these movies
Like
work
it-
without the 3D?
yeah, they work fine without 3D. I do think the bigger the screen you can see them on, the better. But the 3D, in my opinion, is not necessary at any level. In any
Go see it in 4DX, or the more elegant solution, the D-Box.
4DX.
Holy shit! How
There are
much
only
is the
so many
D-Box ticket for
dimensions.
this movie, it's got to be. It's like $50 to the D-Box.
Worth every penny. Worth
Oh
every
wow!
penny.
Wait, so Rachel, are you pro Avatar? I've not got a ruling on Avatar.
Well, when
from
I
you.
saw The Running Man in 4DX as God intended, they showed the trailer for it twice, and what I learned is that the settings on your D-Box reset every time. So every time it came on, it splashed me in the face. So I have a bee in my bonnet.
fair. You're getting splashed constantly in this movie. It'd be
Oh,
brutal.
it is.
Yeah, it's a
You
very
are
wet
in the
movie.
splash zone with Avatar.
It's,
That being said,
No, thank you.
get in there.
Mike, this is not one of my top 5, but this year we showed our kids for the first time the SNL sketch where Chris Farley goes to SeaWorld and it's Mandy the whale. Do you guys remember this sketch?
Yeah.
Vaguely.
All right, go watch Mandy the Whale. It's a D-Box experience in the making.
When do you show them Coffin Flop?
I honestly, they're not quite there, but we're building to it for sure. All right, we're gonna rip through these. My number 3, the city of Toronto. We made at the horror section. We made Eli's film, Ice Cream Man, in Toronto. I got to spend a lot of time in Toronto. Awesome. It's sort of like a nicer, more pleasant version of New York City. I'm sure that there's downsides that come with that, but like it's a huge ass city. There's lots of shit going on. It's very clean. It's very fun. It's sort of like a European version here on in the New World. So that's my number 3. Number 2 for me in terms of bringing joy. I listed this as sort of it was a double. I said Hades 2 or the Switch. So the Switch 2 came out in June. Switch 2 I love. For me though, it was really about Hades 2 because that was like the first game that I got and I just mainlined the shit out of it and had a great time with Hades 2. Number 1, it really wasn't a question when I had to think about like what brought me joy in 2025. The Eagles of Philadelphia, they won the Super Bowl. That happened in 2025. It's almost hard to believe because of like where we are as a fandom for the Eagles now, like in present day. It was just a very special moment, and like there's like a glow that comes along with that lasts for like a long time. And so here we are. So Eagles Super Bowl. Rachel, you did that didn't bring you joy, I guess?
No, I'm laughing at you're telling this very heartfelt thing, and then Eric is loudly yawning into the mic.
It is what it is. Yeah, he can fuck off as far as as an Eagles fan, like
I
we
work-
need him to
I work
appreciate
with an
it.
Eagles fan, John, and he's just like you.
Yeah. All right, so I did these. I just had a bit of a random order, but Casey, I would like you to go next with your top 5,
All right.
2025.
More than anything, this year that's been my source of joy has been my PlayStation Pro. I came back to video games this year after a good 4 to 5 year hiatus. Probably started a little bit before the pandemic started. I just got kind of burnt out on games and walked away from them and hadn't played them for a long time, except for like Balatro here and there. I blame you, Schnars. But this year I finally decided to invest, got a PlayStation, fell in love immediately. Decided within a couple months to upgrade to the Pro. And at this point of the year, I have knocked out a good 18 games as far as completed the story and stuff. This is my TV and happy place now is with that PlayStation. So that's been a big one for me. And there's some great games that have come out this year that I've played on there. Forza Horizon 5 is, if you like racing games, you can just get on there and drive for hours. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Claire Obscure. Expedition 33, Claire Obscure, just won Game of the Year. Beautiful game. It is a JRPG style game, turn-based game. Amazing world that it takes place in. You've never seen anything like it. It's just fascinating. So many good games out there. I did a lot of art this year, lots of drawing. I've gotten away from, I've kind of set in my mind, I don't really care about selling my art. It's all for my happiness, and it's really kind of opened me up, and I just kind of go to town and share it when I feel like it, and it's a big happy place for me. And more than anything, I'm going to throw out here, I'm going to cut this list because it's a big one. We've been doing this show for 18 years here. We've seen a lot of things happen, people come and go here on the show. We've seen Eric had babies, Schnars had babies, Cece had a baby, Joe had baby, Mark had babies. I'm probably missing some babies, but
You're just gonna pass my kittens. It's fine. It's fine.
sorry, Rachel. But there's one thing we haven't had here in the 18 years of the show, and it is my biggest source of joy, because within probably the last 2 months or so, I found out that I'm going to be a grandfather, and we're going to have the first BGH grandpa
Wow.
or grandbaby.
So if you've been listening for a long time, that's how old you are.
Stuff to send you, by the way.
Oh, great! I'm quite excited, folks. I can't wait to get my hands on this little geek. We're going to have so much fun. We are having there's going to be a little boy. I've already started collecting the old black and white Godzilla and Gamera movies for us to watch, and I got all sorts of plans. So,
Congrats, brother.
thank you.
Very nice. All right, Rachel, give us your joy for 2025. What do we got?
Oh, goody. I get to follow grandchild.
Sorry.
Is there a grandkitty or?
Yeah. So I think, we started off this year knowing this is going to be a tough one. So I was very intentional in being like, okay, there's some things I can't control, but what I can make sure is that I laugh a lot this year. As Eric has said, my laugh is a force of nature. And I made a point to see a ton of stand-up comedy this year. I saw Chris Fleming, I saw Josh Johnson,
Can we back up a second? Chris Fleming is the greatest comedian on earth.
Oh, spectacular. Fucking incredible. The way he
Speaking of force
uses
of
a room
nature,
is insane.
I think I discovered him on Reels this year, and you probably already knew him, Rachel, but I started sending you his stuff. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with him.
If he comes your way, do whatever you must. Get on a train if you must, because it is such a great time. He sings, he riffs, he communicates with the audience. It is
amazing.
A very organic, rad experience. So I saw him, I saw Fortune Feimster, I saw Kamau Bell, I love this weird niche podcast called Valley Heat. I went and saw that live, and it was incredible. And I went to the Comedy Cellar when I was in New York and saw a bunch of comedians, and just had, no matter how dark this year got, I knew I was laughing at least once a month. And I've already got tickets for Maria Bamford and Nato Green next year. This is how I'm getting through the next few years. And it has been incredible. And then the other live thing I saw was I got to see Dragula live. I would say, in general, alt drag on my TV brought me a lot of joy this year, whether it was King of Drag and getting into the kinging side of drag, and then Dragula, which is the horror and alt side of drag. Enjoyed both of those shows, and then also getting to meet all of those kings and queens was incredible and brought me a lot of joy this year. It's no matter how oppressive things can get, queer art will survive, queer art will thrive, and it will be fucking weird. And getting to see that live and in person was really incredible. And on the same note, anti-fascist television thriving this year with Andor and Peacemaker. Both of these were things that I side-eyed when they were first announced, because they were spinoffs that I was not interested in, only to discover that they are both fucking masterpieces. They were entertaining and they perfectly met the moment of needing to see those kinds of messages on TV. And one of them really shows sacrifice, one of them shows solidarity, but both of them left me with a sense of hope. So if you've not watched either of those, what are you doing with your life? Get into it 2026, make it happen. And then what is that? Is that 3 or 4? I think that's 4. So last thing, I'll be a little mushy, and I fully expect no one to reciprocate. But getting to see long distance friends in person was really meaningful to me this year. I got to see both of you at the top there, John, Eric. I would love to have gotten to see you, Casey. We almost made it happen.
We
I'm
almost
hoping
made it.
2026. But I also got to see some of my other, like, really, like, some of the people I love the most on this fucking planet are not near me. And I made a special effort to see as many of them as I could, and I'm going to do the same thing this year. So I'll see you again next December, John.
Congrats, Eric. You got it. What's your top five? Did you have Joy in 2025? What are we
I'm gonna be honest with you, John. I have not had the energy or brain bandwidth to really put a lot of thought into this, John. But I
Just
did
give it
write
to
down
me.
a
Rip
couple
it
things
off
I
the
enjoyed
top.
this year. I do not have as well thought out or sentimental answers as the rest of you, but
I enjoyed Mucilix.
And fatality.
Sorry, Eric.
We're done. Bye.
I watched a lot of 2000s horror this year. Early 2000s, like stuff that I didn't really see at the time. The early 2000s, the first couple of years, were actually an era I sort of missed in some ways. I sort of stepped away from horror for not like fully, but I wasn't ensconced in it the way I was. Like, I would say I wasn't quite as ensconced in it as I was like 01, 02 through like 3, 4, 5 really until we kind of started the site again. But I saw like a handful of things, both terrible and good, and it was just kind of the nostalgia that I needed this year. I talked about this in the show. I saw Blade for the first time
Wild.
and was like, had this really funny reaction. I was like, yeah, I understand why people won't shut up about getting more of these movies, like while Wesley Snipes is still alive, because like they're really fucking good. I watched one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and it was incredible, called Fear.com, which I had never seen.
Oh man.
Like, bad in ways you could almost scarcely. Someone's mic is like freaking out right now. I don't know who's.
I don't know.
Fear.com is bad in ways you can like almost not imagine, and I highly recommend it if you like bad stuff. The other one is Urban Legends. I'd never seen the sequel to Urban Legend. Just stupendously terrible shit. Jay says eating pistachios in the theater raccoon style should be on Eric's list. Yeah, sure. This was the year where I definitely lost all shame about bringing food into movies. Like, if I'm drinking my morning tea and going to see a matinee, I just walk right in there with the mug. One of you guys said once, just do it. And I did, and nobody says anything. Like, I'm like, listen, you don't sell loose
They don't
leaf
wanna
tea
fight with
here.
you.
So,
They definitely don't want to fight with you.
no, I don't look like someone to fight with. Like, I look like a recluse. So, especially at 11 a.m. on a Saturday seeing a movie.
They don't want your raccoon paws all over.
That's
I'll
that
give
guy
you a-
that sits in the covered chairs.
I'll give you a non-horror movie, John. This might be like one of like 3 non-horror movies I saw this year, last week, that I really enjoyed. And you guys are going to enjoy this. The original 1990s Little Women, starring Winona Ryder.
No.
Incredible
not-
film.
I get it.
Okay.
It was great. A sentimental sort of Christmas classic.
Oh, Eric.
Out of
The
all
other
the Little
one-
Women movies that are out there, that's one of the better ones.
The other one, and this is a thing I shared with many people in my life that I'm close to, and that's VPR. This was the year that I truly became like an obsessive historian level VPR watcher, to the point where like I can't even speak to you about it unless you've seen it like 3 times all the way through
Yeah.
to really absorb it. We brought all these people into the fold this year. We converted Casey. We've got text
Yeah.
threads. We have Instagram thread. Like, VPR took over a great portion of my life this year.
Eric
And,
got me to meme VPR.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, you got to go all in. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, when you go,
Yeah.
you can't back
You don't
out,
look
so
into abyss. You fall into it.
you got to like get all the way in. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
It's the only reason
Right.
why.
Couldn't really get into the Valley. I did watch the Valley. It's actually too dark, I guess, if I could say that. And the new
Ready for
VPR,
Southern Charm.
the new VPR sucks. The new cast sucks. So boo hiss to
Boo
the new
hiss.
cast. My last thing that these were all media things largely, but I derived a lot of joy from talking about the Vortilac this year, John. We just missed getting it in our list last year. I think we watched it at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Or for all I know, I've been talking about it for 2 years. I actually can't remember.
Eric, when he sent me his list, said, and if I could redo my list for 2024, it would be Vortilac.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the year that I discovered between like the Vortilac and like Frankie Frico and Deathstalker. This is the year where I decided like what I really desire is puppets interacting with real people in serious situations. Now, like Frankie Frico's not serious, but the Vortilac being a puppet in a serious film with serious actors was just like the shit I didn't know that I needed in my life that I now want like mainlined every day. So like more of that, please.
It's like reverse Muppet Christmas Carol. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, there were multiple times this year I was out there looking for Vortilac merch. Couldn't find any. Couldn't find posters. Couldn't find anything. So
I don't know. Horror section might need
entrepreneurs.
to. I'll look into the rights on that. We might
Vortilac 2.
Vortilac. No, we'll just
like
buy the
Vortilac.
merch rights. So I don't need to.
I would also say discovering Frogman brought me a lot of joy this year.
Yeah.
That makes
I watched
me
a
so
lot.
happy.
The lady and I watched a tremendous amount of bad found footage this year, like stuff that no one would ever watch in their right mind. And that also brought me a lot of joy. I just love it.
We never covered it on the show this year, but you need to watch that found footage, the Patterson Project, Eric.
And maybe Strange Harvest.
Yeah, Strange Harvest too.
Strange Harvest got a #1 vote from one of the patrons, actually.
Yeah.
Did I see that?
No,
It's more
we
like-
did discuss it at one point, though.
That sound. Okay, John, I think that's it.
That's it. That's what we
For this
got.
Mike Sound murders everyone.
So, Eric, have you spoken with Joe about programming our first episode of the year?
No, but I guess I should text him about it, huh?
Yeah. Note to Joe Ferry. We're
You're on
coming for you,
notice.
bro. Oh, well, okay.
I'm gonna text him right now.
And coming soon, Primate. That's the first horror release of the year. It looks like Jan 9.
Would this be next? We'd do this next week, next Wednesday?
Yeah, we would do it.
You're not going to do a weirdie?
No, that would be Joe.
Oh, okay.
Joe
Yeah,
would
that's
be
a
the
Joe
same.
Ferry pick.
Got it.
And then
Primate the next one?
Primate is
Probably.
Primate is the week after. Yeah.
Primate looks fun. I'm just gonna say it.
They showed the Primate trailer before Avatar, and my son could not sleep. The 11-year-old, he basically couldn't sleep for like a day and a half.
That's going to be traumatizing for those people that look at Does the Dog Die?
Well, for people who are like scared of people who have chimpanzees living in their house, like I don't know, it looks scary, but it also looks ridiculous. So one of the main characters' name is Lucy, and that's my middle daughter's name. There's like a whole bit in the trailer when he's like, Lucy, bad.
John,
Yeah, Sarah.
I have to get my feral children to bed. Is that it?
Okay, let's do it. Let's wrap.
Love it. We love everyone that listens to the show. I very much appreciated the YouTube audience this year, the people joining us every week and commenting, because I think it's livened up the shows and the live streams. So very much appreciate everybody's continued presence. There's a lot of people that are here every week, and I think that's a really amazing thing. So, and we hit 800 this year, which is kind of mind-boggling. So thank you very deeply to everyone who supported us in any way this year. You guys are the reason that we're still here. We're coming back at you, because at this point, I'm not letting John quit till we hit 1,000. So,
Or until one of us is dead. Who knows?
yeah.
Till
I mean,
John pulls
Casey's
the
a
plug on one
grandfather,
of us.
so
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
It's all riding on me.
There you
it
go.
is heart attack snow shoveling season, so be careful out there, buddy.
Yeah, but I'm like 91 pounds lighter, so I'm safe.
Oh yeah, get out.
No one's safe.
Start slinging it. All
Comes for us all.
right, gang.
Love it. That's it. 2025 in the books. Hope you enjoyed the year.
Yeah, sure. It was a year.
It was a year. Maybe this year will be better, John. This is the year
This
of
year
the fire.
will be better.
This is going to be the year.
Will be better.
This is the year of
We're on
the
the
fire.
upswing.
The fire horse, John. It's supposed to be, triumphant and
Okay.
good
You
stuff.
say so.
I am embracing joy. 2026 is going to
Yeah, hell yeah. Look, guys, this is why we did our list. We're embracing joy. Let's go.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for 2025. We'll be back next week for the next. Oh, here's Joe. Let's tell us what we're doing this week. Joe says, "Hell yeah, give me 24 hours to pick." So we're back next week with a weird Joe Ferry movie, as is tradition now. So hope you enjoy the show. Thanks everybody for hanging out tonight, and we'll see you next year.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.